Right, 2 November 2020, and today I want to quickly go through the latest developments in the case of Henrietta Rushwaya. So what happened is that yesterday, the First Lady of Zimbabwe, Auxillia Mnangagwa, she issued a statement, and this statement was to the effect that she is not involved in the gold smuggling of Henrietta Rushwaya, and she issued this statement, let's say around, I saw it around 3 o'clock, and then slightly within the same hour, the police issued a statement saying that the First Lady is not involved in the gold smuggling case. So many people are saying, why did the police issue the statement after the First Lady had said or forced them to issue the statement? Why did they wait for her to issue a statement before they issued theirs? So I want to quickly go through the statement that was issued by the First Lady, Auxillia Mnangagwa. And the statement says, I have no dealings or involvement with Miss Henrietta Rushwaya of any illegal kind. I am challenging the police through their relevant office to issue a statement. I am a strong advocate for transparency and honesty, and any continued silence by the police can be construed as a cover-up. If there is any incriminating evidence against me, I challenge the police to present it to the nation without fear or favor. If there be none, I also challenge the police to say so. So this is a very interesting statement, because she is saying to the police, you need to issue a statement. If there's evidence that I have done something wrong, you must say that I've done something wrong. Then I want to look at what the police went on to do. So the police issued a statement soon after, and I find this statement to be quite lacking, but I want to read the statement for you so that you can hear what the police says. Okay, so I think let's give my system a second to gather here. So it was refreshing. So let me give it a second. It will be back. Right, there it is. The Zimbabwe Republic Police confirmed that Gift Karanda was arrested and is facing charges of contravening Section 184 of the Criminal Codification Act, that is defeating or obstructing the course of justice. He is also facing charges of contravening the Gold Trade Act, dealing possession of gold without being a holder of a license or permit, and the Customs and Excise Act of smuggling. This relates to his utterances to law enforcement officers at the RG Mugabe Airport on 26 October when he was indicted, when he indicated that there was no case as the gold belonged to First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa and her son Collins Mnangagwa. Comprehensive investigations have proved that the statement by Gift Karanda was false and malicious, with intent to defeat or obstruct the course of justice. As such, he was accordingly charged, and the case is pending before the courts. So this statement was written by P. Nyati, who is the Assistant Commissioner. And unfortunately, this statement is insufficient. Mr. Nyati here, or I think Assistant Commissioner Nyati, did not do a good job. I think the First Lady actually did a better job in framing what she wanted to say compared to what Commissioner Nyati said. Firstly, she said she's not involved. And if there's evidence that she's involved, they must produce it. If there's evidence that she's not involved, they must also produce that evidence. So what Nyati has done here, he has just told people that the First Lady, in fact, he said nothing about the First Lady. He said something about the CIO guy who was arrested, and the guy is before the court. The question that the First Lady wants to be answered is she involved or not? That is the question she's asking. I strongly advocate for transparency and honesty, and any continued silence by the police can be misconstrued as a cover-up. So what the police should have done was to go to the First Lady, Auxillia Mnangagwa. They should have gone to Collins Mnangagwa, ask those people if they're involved with this gold smuggling. If they then talk to them, they must then make a statement to say, we've talked to Auxillia Mnangagwa, we've talked to Collins Mnangagwa, and the two have said, or we have concluded that they're not involved. But what they've done at the moment is they've just said the guy is before the courts, but they've not said if he is involved or not. And they've not said if Auxillia Mnangagwa is involved or not. They've not said if Collins Mnangagwa is involved or not. So this is basically an incomplete statement by the police. The police are afraid. That's all I can say here. From my view here is that the police are acting out of fear. They are not confident in their job. So they had to quickly put up this statement to say, so comprehensive investigation have proved that the statement by Gift Karamba was false and malicious. How do we know as the members of the public that the statement was false and malicious? What evidence do we have that Auxillia Mnangagwa and Collins Mnangagwa were not the owners of the gold? They should have done more. They did not do enough as police. They need to do more. In fact, if I was the police, I wouldn't have even issued this statement. I would have gone and had a press conference where journalists can come and sit and ask questions about this case so that there's clarity. At the moment, there's no clarity on whether this gold implicates the First Lady or not. The police have not answered the questions. So in my view, the police, what they've done is they've made the situation worse. It was better in the beginning before they talked. But now that they've made this statement, it has made the situation worse. People have got questions. Is the First Lady involved or not? Did she just force the police to speak, or the police are really telling the truth? They need to do more. They need to set up a proper press conference, and they need to ask or get statements from the people that are implicated. You can't just say these people are not implicated when you have not asked them. They must be given a chance to issue statements or to also respond to the allegations. And then when the police come to people, they must come with an answer to say, we talked to Auxillia Mnangagwa and she said she's not involved. Not to say they are not involved with no evidence. And then I want to go to what is happening now. This is going to be very quick. Today there was the bail hearing in this case, Henrietta Rushwaya and the co-accused. So our co-accused here is Stephen Chenjerai Tserai, who is 45, of the CIO, Gift Karanda of the CIO, Ali Mohammed of Pakistan, Rafias Mufandauye, who is working for the Mineral Association with Henrietta Rushwaya. So there are 5 accused here. Then there are 2 policemen who were arrested. I think they were taking bribes. I don't know what happened, but 2 more policemen were arrested for this case. So this case was heard today, the bail hearing, and tomorrow the lawyers are going to be continuing with the bail hearing. The case is not yet finalized. But I'm very disappointed with the police in Zimbabwe. They did not satisfy the public. when they issued their statement out of fear. The First Lady is asking the police to be transparent, to do a thorough investigation, to tell people whether she's involved or not. And they're not. In fact, they're saying the police should tell the nation without fear or favor. But at the moment, it seems like they're doing it fear or favor. I expect the police to set up a proper press conference. I've always been saying this. The police in Zimbabwe are not doing a good job of communicating. Every time something happens, the police, the military, they do not issue proper press conferences or press statements. They do not give journalists enough time or enough information. I will take you back to the case of Rugeji. Up to today, they've not issued a proper statement. They said they will. They have not called journalists to ask questions. We don't know why a ZANU-PF card-carrying guy was at that house during the shootout. So I'm very disappointed with the way the police in Zimbabwe are communicating with the public. They're not behaving like a public service or a police service. They keep information to themselves and they give rise to a lot of speculation, which is what is happening these days. Everything is about speculation. So as I said, I want to wrap this up very, very quickly. So let me look at the comments here. Esther M. Gambakwe, she is definitely involved. Remember, the husband was involved in coronavirus theft. It's a family thing. I don't believe so. Erisha M. I don't think so. I don't think it's that simple. I said this last week. I don't think the First Lady and Collins will be that stupid to put gold in a bag and take it through the airport when they could have used other means. I think there are other means of smuggling gold for a president than to put it through a bag. Then let's look into this one, Erisha again. So Erisha, I'm gonna skip you. Now let's go to Ben Mutasa. Gambakwe, uyu na Jonasi. Varudakiswa mjeri nenhau dzekunyebera vanhu. You want to arrest me? Okay, right. That's Ben Mutasa wants me to be arrested. Actually, there is a list going around in which I am number 13, which says that I'm being looked for questioning. I don't think that list is genuine. So in December, we'll see when I'm in Zimbabwe if I'm going to be questioned or not. Then let's go to Sindiso Mugore. She must let the police do their job. I think she's asking the police to do their job. You know, Sindiso, I am blaming the police in Zimbabwe in this case. Someone issues a statement and says, do your job without fear or favor. And they have failed to take advantage of that situation. They must question Auxillia Mnangagwa. They must question Collins and give people the statements, publicly say what the two have said with regards to the allegations. They cannot just say, after thorough investigations. What thorough investigations? This is the question that I'm asking here. And we must not take things for granted. It's possible that Henrietta is lying, but it must also be investigated, like the First Lady is saying. Hilda Moro is saying police should do a thorough investigation, period. I agree with you. The police have not done a thorough investigation. And I think the lawyers here will have a field day. Most of the guys that they've arrested here, especially the CIO guys, I don't think these guys will be thrown into jail. Maybe the ones that switched off the cameras and all that. But the ones that were carrying the bags, most likely they won't be arrested. They were probably offering security duty. And the actual people behind smuggling are the ones that must be found. Not a guy who is carrying a bag, a CIO guy who's going to go home to sleep without eating probably. It's sad. So I don't think these are the guys that should be arrested. And as the First Lady said, the people responsible should be found. And this should be done without fear or favor. Now, let's go to Onisimo Mutemwa. If they have classified information, why should they divulge it? Well, they've already issued a statement clearing the First Lady. So in court, you can't go now and say she's responsible because you have investigated and you have issued a statement that she's not involved. So how then are you going to turn around in court and say she's involved? This is where proper investigations should have been done. Right, let's go to, of course, police are working with government. Right, Ephraim Maposa, why does she give instructions to police to investigate? Let the police do their work. I don't think she's giving police instructions. She is being implicated. So the person who was carrying the gold is saying, yes, she has a right to respond. She has a right to issue a statement. And I want to end with the Lord Balish. Zimbabwe is a banana republic, and anyone with power and connection is doing what they want. I don't want to comment a lot about this, but you are so correct, Lord Balish. I think when we, back in the days, when we were in Zimbabwe, there was a bit of order. At the moment, because there's so much suffering happening, people are just doing what they want. And it's sad. And this is the situation at the borders, at the airports, on the roads, even ordinary people like yourself and myself, all the people that are watching here, how much corruption is happening in Zimbabwe. When you get a driver's license, did you get it properly? When you get a passport, did you get it properly? When you go to your child's school, did you get that position properly in the school? You know, the corruption is everywhere. Even in church, there's corruption. You see what is happening. People are not genuine. There's no order in the society of Zimbabwe. And unfortunately, people tend to focus on government. But we should also be looking at how do we fix our society. Everything that you're doing. In Zimbabwe, you go to even doing a certification of a document. It's being done in a corrupt way. I've seen people who had marriage certificates when they're overseas in Zimbabwe, or people that have birth certificates that they take for children that are not in Zimbabwe. You know, those kind of things. Corruption is such a big problem. If you want to get a passport, you have to pay. You know, it's just a mess in the whole country. And this is what I think the First Lady here is encouraging everyone to fix. And if I was a police, I was going to take advantage of this offer to say, she's saying, investigate me, find out if I'm responsible or involved, find out if my son is involved, and tell everyone. And then the police just lose that opportunity by issuing such a weak statement. I think the last one is there's no way the First Lady or a family were involved. ED has an aeroplane that goes to Dubai, Malaysia, and everywhere. So why would they get involved with handbags? I agree with this one. I said this already last week. So what is my point? My point is this case is not as simple as people are making it. There's smuggling in Zimbabwe, there's corruption. But when police are presented to such an opportunity, when the person who is being named is saying, clear me or implicate me, then they need to do a proper job. And also the police should start taking Zimbabweans seriously, issue proper statements. If there's a big thing like this involving the president of Zimbabwe and his family, go out and do a proper press conference. Let journalists ask you questions. Don't write a little letter which will even make the situation worse. Right, so I want to end it here today. I was supposed to have a guest, but I think this topic, many people don't like to talk about it. So I just decided to do it myself. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you everyone who is following the channel. Please continue to like, comment, and share on our posts, and support our YouTube and Facebook channel. We are doing very well. Gabako Media is doing very well. And as I said in the beginning, my plan is that I want to go and set up our office in Zimbabwe. So I'll be up in Zimbabwe sometime in December. We're going to be setting up, and the plan is that by election time, we'll be having a full-fledged 24-hour operation. It won't be a TV station, but we'll be able to operate 24 hours. When the elections come in 2023, we want to be able to cover elections on a continuous basis to provide information on rallies, on policies, on different political parties. So we need to be on the ground. So I need to move up to Zimbabwe. So from 2021, I need to be operating from Zimbabwe. So let's see if that list that is circulating is genuine, if I'm actually being looked for. I don't take this seriously. I think people just want to make themselves look like they're serious, they're being looked for by the government. I don't think it's true. I don't think the government of Zimbabwe has got a business arresting someone like me. Some of the people on that list, I cannot believe that they believe that they are being looked for by the government. And some of them are in Zimbabwe. How can you look for someone that is in Zimbabwe and then put them on a list? Why not just walk to the office and arrest them? I don't get it. So I think these are some of the things that are making the situation in Zimbabwe worse. People are taking themselves too seriously instead of just going on and doing their job. Same with the police. Instead of going to Auxillia Mnangagwa and calling Mnangagwa and asking them if it is their goal, they issue a statement to say we've done thorough investigations, but without giving proper information of what they've investigated and what they found. Right, thank you very much for watching, and good night.